Welcome back, everyone, to Myth Machine and Dragonbane, the Brimstone Sleep. Are we on part 12 already? Gee, we're getting towards an epic finale, aren't we? But it's not this session. This show is rated R for just in case, because so far nobody has actually done anything particularly horrible to anyone. Because this is a game of mirth and mayhem, fantasy, and light-hearted fun. Though there might be some darkness around the edges, because it's also the Conflict Saga, and you never know what's going to happen, because the writer, who isn't me, Erik Granström, has an interesting mind, and isn't shy for delivering some punches when needed. So, who do we have with us this time? That's for you guys.
Okay. I'm Brett. I'm playing Wild Wolfbane. He's a hunter who is a wolfkin.
Yep.
Roger, I'm playing Kirov the Large, human merchant and mining engineer.
I'm Emily, and I'm playing. She's a mage and a clicking enthusiast.
Yes. And she also has a
Oh
friend.
yeah, a friend called Lil Bubs. She's a rat.
I'm sorry if the audience... So for all our English-speaking audience who have no idea who Lil Bubs was, she was a big musical artist. She sang songs and was very beloved by the Swedish people.
Yeah, she's a legend.
Yeah, she's a legend. She is unfortunately no longer a living legend because she passed away some years ago. I can't remember exactly. It wasn't that long ago.
No, it was quite recent.
Yeah. But when I grew up, which was long before Emily grew up, we saw her a lot on TV. On all sorts of shows. I think she was almost in her little Bob. When did she break through? She broke through in what, the late 60s, early 70s? And even more lore around that, because she was not the first Bobs we had. She was the younger.
Or multiple Bobs.
There were multiple Bobs, yes. The first one was Alice Bobs, who broke through in the 40s. And then came Lil Bobs because she was younger. And she came like 20 years later. So that's when she was...
You Swedes really like your Bobs, I guess.
We haven't had a single Bob since. There's only two. But yeah, that's the lore behind the name for the familiar rat. So,
Okay.
the internal
Just
joke
rest.
has now been shared
Yeah.
to all English.
I do
speakers
appreciate
as
the explanation because that was completely lost on me.
well. Of course it was. How would what
There
kind
are,
of genre?
I have
It's like
heard of other Swedish groups. So
I don't even know what genre of music we would call it. I don't know. Yeah, she sang all sorts of things. But yeah.
heavy metal. I bet she was heavy metal.
No, it was more poppy, but also very folksy. It's a very Swedish thing.
Heavy metal's pretty Swedish.
Yeah.
But-
It was... I don't know. You don't know about the culture of Allsång på Skansen, so it's very hard to explain.
I will Google the Bobs and see.
Yes, Google the Bobs. Last session, our heroes ran from a dragon. Actually, not. First, you tried to fight a dragon, then you ran from it, and then you recovered for a little while and went all the way to the deepest level that you can walk to in this mine, and had a big fight with the giant amoeba, which you actually survived. Somewhat miraculously. You got a bit hairy there for a while. And now, down here, you have lost track of time and space. Because you're in a mine. The only light you have available to you is Kirov's oil lamp. The group, including all your companions here, Deidre, Rober, Gistaki, Parma, and yourselves. You took a bit of a beating to that amoeba, but now that it has been slain, you have been able to recover your lost tools except Wild's longbow because it was
Yes.
digested a long time ago.
If you find a longbow, I call dibs right now.
Yes. You haven't found the Mercury yet. It's somewhere around. Kirov is wading back and forth in the icy cold water, and it's not terribly clear either, to be honest, and it smells because it's fairly stagnant.
Question about this water, if we can tell. Does this look like some place that was flooded, or was like the hole in the ground just like a natural spring that this is just the base of?
That's an excellent question, isn't it? What might Wild know about such things?
Probably not much.
I think it feels like a bushcraft check, really, but
Alright.
probably one
That's
with
not terrible.
one with a bane, because now we're talking like mining minutiae.
I'm already angry, so now I'm trying to figure out why I'm angry.
Yeah, you are angry because you
So
had that
it's
fight
less
with
likely.
the thing, and that didn't work. No, you've been beaten up in so many ways. You are almost 2/3 of your hit points down. You're exhausted. You're sickly and nauseous. You're angry. You're scared. You're disheartened. The only thing you're not is dazed. So at least your feet are finding their place underneath the water. You have water, almost icy cold water up to your chest, and yeah. You've all
Should we
done.
get out of this water and figure out like who needs what healing wise, or if we? I don't think we can take another rest, can we? Because we pushed that as far as it could go before. Couldn't.
According to my reading of things here, you did have your shift rest before you went down here. So it's a new shift, which means that you could have a stretch rest again. One stretch rest per shift.
I might do that.
But
Let's at least get out of the water.
Sure.
there you go. Okay, everybody else is gonna follow here. Yeah, Parama is in a great deal of pain. So is Deidre. Rober is not too happy either. And Haldan is actually completely unharmed. He didn't take a scratch in that fight.
That means he wasn't trying.
Exactly, that is the conclusion. He was trying to shoot it with bolts, but apparently that didn't do much. There is a door at the end of this tunnel as you are getting yourselves out of the water. Those of you who have space to do. Yeah, poor Gistaki got mangled too, but he's gonna let Deidre get first up out of the water, of course, because he always lets her have the most comforts. He's a very considerate. He's considerable too, given his size, but he's a very considerate boyfriend, to the extent that they are, in fact, a couple. We don't really know, aside from the fact that they obviously enjoy each other's physical company. Kirov, there's a wooden door here, but you can't really just push it open. It has swelled up something considerably here.
Okay, so I was thinking of should we break this door down before we rest? Since it's going to be an effort, we should probably rest now, get everybody at least back to some semblance of combat readiness before we go through this door.
I'm gonna complicate your life because that's my job, right? He said, laughing evilly.
Might be worth it to check it for booby traps as well.
That is a thing you can do. Now, I was actually thinking about cold, because some of you are standing in very cold water, and you're going to stand there for 15 minutes to, quote-unquote, rest up.
Okay, we have to break the door. We have to break it now.
All right, Kirov, you want to break the door. Go ahead and roll your strength.
Which is going to be at disadvantage because he's exhausted. So
Yep.
go anyway.
Good evening. My apologies.
Oh, Gazebo's
good.
here. We are
Welcome.
glad to have you here.
Indeed. Yeah.
Who are you playing today, Gazebo?
Let's see. I'll go with Halveld Clearmind.
Yes, that is the person, yes.
Famous academic.
The famous academic is here and freezing in
currently-
the cold water.
Currently well dressed. Very cold. Academic. Yeah.
Okay, I've successfully broken the door. Even exhausted, it went down.
Excellent. That's what we wanted to see.
Door is though still locked.
That is my bad. There we go. You break it open, and you can see into some kind of storage facility with a lot of ice cold, presumably, water. It's, well, a bunch of barrels, 12 of them, that are sitting in the water. They're not floating on the water.
So
Right,
they're
now
way
we have
down.
to improve our position. We've got the Mercury. Now, priority though, find somewhere dry. So we're going to have to go around this water and find somewhere else to get out of it.
We would just have to go up a level, right? It's where we were before.
That is a place you can go, absolutely. It's almost wild as on to the whole why make things complicated. I'm going to say, Kirov, that if you're going to explore all the different places here, it's going to take you enough time to have to roll that bushcraft check for cold damage.
Now let's just get up a level.
Very well. We're going up a level. So...
Yeah, we're going up a level.
yes, yes, you are indeed. All of you, back up a level. Here we are. There's gonna be one of the goblins who the priestess is gonna be walking by as you're coming up and sneaking up the stairs, apparently.
Like to the dragon?
Yep. But you are all taking a stretch rest, so let's take a stretch rest, shall we? Click the stretch rest button on your sheet. I think some of you needed that more than others.
Y'all.
Yeah.
And what's the thing where you can clear 2 conditions?
That is
You
when
need
you're
to use
using
your-
your special memento and you're sitting and remembering things from before.
Yeah, I might be doing that too.
How often can we do that? Is that once a
Once
stretch?
per 24
Short
hours,
rest?
basically.
24 hours. Yeah. Is it listed somewhere so we can see if we used it?
It
I'm
is
not
not,
sure.
it doesn't have a checkbox like that, no. That is a limit of this automation here. I can tell you that once you actually get up top here,
Yeah.
the poison effect from that amoeba cloud will in fact disappear.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Halveld already used his, so I'm not going to use it.
So, yeah.
There's a good chance I already used mine, yeah, so I will stay angry.
Alas and
That
alas.
just sounds like Kirov. Yeah. Halveld is just exhausted. He's just tired of all of this. Go
Yeah,
home.
it's been a lot lately. You've been, let's see now, what's
Yeah.
happened over the past few days? You've been
Oh boy.
fighting off demons, watching the rise of the restless dead, in prison, and playing Schmickelboard against giants, but they didn't fight you. They were
Giants,
nice.
demons,
And playing
underground.
Schmickelboard with a dragon and
Yeah.
losing that game too. Within you tried to cheat and you succeeded in cheating, didn't you? And then the dragon wanted to start over again, and then things
And the
happened.
dragon just cheated like without even hiding it. So I'm like, okay,
Exactly.
you're a dragon. You can do that.
We both cheated, but he cheated worse, damn it.
Dragon's arms problem now.
Very possibly so. You have arrested for a good 15 minutes, and apparently the spirits are returning. There are some jokes made between you, and some nervous chuckles. I don't know, maybe about amoebas, because that was also a thing. Down we go again, into the depths, and the question is now, how are you going to get the Mercury out of here?
How big are the barrels each?
Oh, they are big. Each contains about 25 liters of mercury.
Now, the cart that the one dwarf had brought with him that's waiting outside, how much could that carry?
It can carry... That's a good question. You don't know. When you were at the cart, you had no idea of what the size of the barrels would be. And now you're at the site of the barrels, it's almost like you've been down here for more than a day, isn't it? So it's hard to estimate, but you should be able to get a few barrels on top of that cart, shouldn't you? Maybe not all of them. Each of these barrels, by the way, would weigh more than 300 kilos, something like 750 pounds.
Yeah, I was just calculating that. I was like, wow. And then you got the barrel, which has to be strong enough to hold it and everything. Yeah.
Okay, before we do anything else, let's just finish searching this level.
Yeah, I would do a spot hidden to make sure that room isn't booby trapped at all before we try and move any of the barrels.
What? It's almost like you don't trust the
there-
game master. or
Was there
something.
any sort of amount of mercury agreed upon with the dwarves? Was there any
Nope,
sort of...
paying you per barrel.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's...
So it's up to you to see how many barrels you might get out of this. While
I
you
don't
can
know.
spot no traps, which obviously means that there are none.
Alveld maybe know some, I don't know. How would you know that? Like properties, interesting properties of mercury that you might use to assist us or make it. I have no idea or anything about that. But any chance that's myths and legends?
Sure.
Let's see. Just gonna roll. I don't know. Is it, what temperature does it? Yeah. I'll have to look it up.
About ambient temperature. If you break open a barrel. The barrel are a bit swollen too because of the water, but if you break open a barrel, there's a significant risk that the mercury will just run out of the barrel and up on the bottom of the room because mercury is considerably heavier than water. But
Yeah,
you succeeded with your check here for myths and legends, Halveld, so you would know at least this much. Mercury is known for its healing properties against arthritis. Yes. Also used
Okay.
in various
Oh.
alchemical potions, various potion making
Okay.
as an important component.
Alright.
Okay, maybe we could get the dragon to help because he clearly had some arthritis when he was moving around. So
Yeah. Yeah,
We
you can
help
ask
him
him.
with some of
Done.
the
The dragon. It's all yours. Yeah.
I will remind you all, because it doesn't show up on the map, that there is in fact a chain hanging right in the middle of this passage here. When you were upstairs in the dragon's lair, you saw the whole winch system with pulleys and everything, and like the chain that... So obviously the dwarves, and certainly Kirov will be familiar, being a mining engineer specifically. It's like Kirov was made for this place, isn't it? That clearly they used that winch up top in the dragon's lair before the dragon came here to haul their mining excavations to the top. If you can just get the winch up there going, you should be able to roll the Mercury barrels to the edge of the big hole in the middle. You don't know how deep. There might be several sub-levels to this place, but they would all be flooded, obviously. But with that winch and that system, you should be able to get the barrels up. And then it's just a question of getting the barrels to the actual chains and the buckets and all that. And then out of the mine, that might be a bit trickier, of course, because at that stage, you have to get yourselves out without the Dracorians noticing, because you're not supposed to be here. But I'll leave that part to you.
Okay, I want to do a craft roll for Kiro about the structure of this mine and exactly where this hole goes to. And specifically, if there's an alternative that, rather than taking the Mercury out the top way, if we could drain out these lower levels, if we could take the Mercury out downwards, possibly through another access point that the Dracorians aren't watching.
I'll give you a craft roll for that, for sure. Well, Kirov, he knows his way around a mine. We know this much, right? Where's Kirov at the moment? Here we go. Okay, you're under Rober.
Stuck under Rober.
Yeah, you don't see, having investigated things for a while here, we're going to abstract the time a little bit, because obviously the goblins are not going to interfere with you. I don't know if you're going all the way upstairs, but it's probably some of you will, because there's the machinery. You need to get that going. That's going to require a die roll, because it's rusty. But at the end of the day, as you're doing your investigations here, you can't see any pumping system to clear the mine of water. Your conclusion at this moment, Kirov, is that some kind of disaster befell this mine, maybe when the dragon attacked and fired the place properly, could have cracked the foundation of the mountain and flooded the lower levels. Because you can't see any signs that the dwarves were fighting the flooding. If they have a pumping system, it's somewhere down below where you can't get to it because it's submerged by now. Maybe they had problems with flooding in the mine, but the pumping system was on a sub-level somewhere that you just can't reach because you can't hold your breath for that long. Too bad we don't have an amphibian with us. Though I don't know that there are, strictly speaking, any amphibian playable kin in this game. As the case might be, we don't have one with us. So, pumping out the water is not an option. The only way you can think of then, would probably be Kirov, intelligence check, very low. You can try to do an intelligence check.
Is that something you'd like
I'm
to do?
ghost.
Was that both of you at the same time?
Are you first, Roger?
Kirov is angry and concussed, so that result shouldn't surprise anyone.
No, it should not.
Maybe Halveld could you could scream at Halveld what you generally want, and he could just maybe use his intelligence.
Yeah. He's what are you screaming, Kirov?
Something, I guess, like about the there'd be no way to drain the mine. And that means unless anybody can think of anything else, we have to take the Mercury up.
Okay. Can Halville make an intelligence roll? Or?
If you want to, go ahead.
Alright. Any Bane's boom?
Not really. Well, Halveld has a clear mind, unlike our friend Kirov. That's why he's called Clear Mind. You've been doing, you know what? Since we've all been doing a bit of exploration down here, including in the cold waters, let's do one cold check here. This is bushcraft, everybody.
Oh. Halville changes to an Australian accent.
Alright.
Oh, you're in the bush. You gotta watch out with him, either. And the bloody angry dragon. He's an old Nadja, he is.
I thought I... Oh, there we go. No, that was Skrleftieva. I thought I rolled for Kistaki, but apparently I didn't. Yeah, he fails, very sadly. And so does Deidre.
And wild.
I can tell you who doesn't fail the roll. Perima. She doesn't care. The cold never bothered her anyway. She's not singing that, by the way. Those of you who failed, let's see now. Lose a d6 hit points and willpower points. Let's go.
D6 each?
Yes.
Okay.
That's rough.
Wow. That is rough.
See, if you'd gotten naked before, you would have been attuned to the environment, like Halville does.
Exactly. It didn't work out for Gistaki and Deidre, apparently, even though they did, so... Twice.
They got a bit too naked. That's,
this is a fair point. This is a fair point. Yes. So, Kirov, how much did you lose? Not that much, apparently.
2 and 6.
A lot of willpower points. Wild, that's 4.
I took it off already, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Halville is fine, right? Yeah, you are fine. Quileftieva, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Why?
Oh, why? I don't know. Was I also supposed to roll something?
Oh, yes, please. A bushcraft to not be freezing cold after walking through
I've
this-
already rolled a bushcraft, though.
Oh, you did? You succeeded?
Yeah.
I didn't see the...
Yeah, succeeded.
Oh, you did. Yes. Okay, so you're fine. You've been through worse. All right. Everybody has... Not everybody, but quite a few of you have chattering teeth, blue lips, shaking hands, legs. It's just not fun to be down here. Obviously, Lil Bubs will stay crawled up on top of Kheleftieva's shoulders and thus avoid the horrible fate of freezing to death in this cold water. How you are one of clear mind, even though, and even you do not have chattering teeth and a blue mouth, blue lips, so you're fine that in that regard. The only alternative way to the main gateway out of the mine that you can think of is the secret passage that you all got in through. The only problem with that place is it's uphill. You'd have to bring
Yeah.
the Mercury to the second level and then roll it uphill all the way to the mining office, and then up a bunch of stairs in there as well, and then down the stairs outside without losing the grip of the barrel so it smashes on the ground and just floats down everything, and then to the cart. Should be easy peasy, right?
I'm
As I
starting
recall,
to
I think I overheard some kind of secret passage when the knight left the dragon after their little battle. There might be something where the dragon is, a way to get out.
Yeah, but that goes right to the encampments of those soldiers.
But
Well, let's
again,
have
we
a
would
look at
need
that
to
place, shall we?
discuss it with the
Isn't it?
dragon.
You want to discuss it with the dragon? Let's see.
Is the dragon even still there, or did it leave with Ahhe?
Isn't that the question? We'll find out when we get up there, won't we? Who is gonna go first up there and have a look? Who wants to check out the dragon's lair?
Since we all need to get out of this cold water, let's just all go, so if anything goes wrong, we're at least all ready for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But who's gonna take point?
All right, Alvold will take point. He's BFFs with the dragon anyway.
You
Yeah,
are,
you have a
of
history.
course, the best sneak in the group, aren't you? Who is the best sneak in the group?
Oh, sneak in the group. Oh, Alvold's he's
I have 14 in sneaking. That's not bad.
It isn't.
yeah, okay. You're pretty good. All right,
Uh,
but you have your armor, right? Oh my God, you're
That's
near death.
true.
Yeah, he does
Oh.
wear that. Gistaki, you're going to be surprised, is also excellent at sneaking, but he's wearing plate, so...
Alvold has a 10.
Cliffhanger
You know what?
has a 13.
Look at that,
Oh, look at
Cliffhanger
that.
might be the best alternative then.
Yep. After you.
Actually, has
Okay.
Gistaki's plate actually done any good so far? Or has everything we've faced just been able to go around it?
So
It's-
far,
it's gonna
everything
make it-
you've faced has been been able to go around it.
We didn't have it on when
And
we
it's gonna
first
make it
looked at the
harder.
dragon, so
It's
Yep.
going to make it harder for him to carry heavy stuff because he's carrying heavy armor.
He could take off the heavy armor to carry... He's pretty good at carrying heavy loads, let's face it. He's probably the strongest in the group here. Eva, why don't you roll a sneak check? Let's see what you might find when you go up to investigate whether there is a dragon up there. Look at you go. There you are, up on the top level again. The smickle board with all the pieces scattered. The chain from the winch system. Some kind of furnaces up ahead. Some coal equipment. Some other workbenches. What else might we find here? As you're walking past the huge pile of bones, there is some kind of recess up here, but it's all shrouded in darkness, so yeah. But you can't see the dragon. The dragon isn't here. It's all quiet.
The
up
dragon's
here.
hoard there. Of gold there.
Is the dragon's gold there? Maybe? Eva is not someone who has dark vision, so she couldn't tell. Unless maybe she lights a torch. Do you have a torch? I think, yeah, you have a torch. Do you want to light
yeah,
a
I
torch?
think I have a torch. Okay, yeah.
All
I'll
right.
light a torch.
Torch lit. Feel free to investigate here, Emily. As you're moving further into the alcove,
Should I roll a spot hidden?
feel free to. Here's cave walls around here. So that's as far as you get. Ashes. You're walking on the ashes here now.
Oh, my spot hidden is really bad. I can't see anything.
We all try. That was a failure. You can't see any hidden traps, any hidden treasures, anything else of that nature. The rest of you all, as you are probably maybe 10 meters down on the stairs that go up to this level, you can't hear her because she's sneaking. But you also can't hear a dragon roaring and eating someone, so I guess that's a positive sign.
There isn't burning napalm pouring down the stairwell.
That is correct. No fire coming down.
So I guess we
I
all...
I will
I'll
go
go
up there.
Where was that?
I'll call for them and say the coast is clear. You can come up.
Yeah. While to go up.
Very well. Everybody's coming up. But where might the treasure be?
We're not going to steal the treasure, are we? We already have the Mercury.
Wait, Kirov, is your oil lamp on?
Yeah, I think it must have been because we could see what we were doing down
So,
in the hole.
like that then.
Let's just.
The treasure! He found it! It's just
Oh,
a
no.
huge pile of glittering things in the dark. And Deidre
No,
just
no.
run over.
No, don't.
Oh,
Any
look at
weapons?
this! It was worth the effort
No.
all along! Let's go! And you know what? Rober is all with her on that. So, yeah, they just
No.
stuff their pockets here. Relentlessly. Parama is sighing deeply. This is not why we came here. We came here to help the dwarfs get their Mercury
Yeah.
back.
You realize that the dragon's going to be a bit upset about this? Does anybody care? No?
Deidre's dragon can't be angry with what he doesn't know, can he? Maybe he'll just blame ye.
Yeah. That's yeah.
What's at the other end of this hall here?
That's the main entrance into the mine itself.
Where is the dragon?
Not here
What's going on?
at the moment.
Hang on, but he hasn't left this cave in forever. Wasn't that true, or does he? He did fly out every now and then, right? That's right. Yeah.
You've heard rumors of the dragon flying around every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but Arn owns his soul now, so if Arn told him to come with him, he'll just have to go.
All right. Should we take this moment to get the winch working and see if we can just get some?
Yeah, that seems like a good idea to me. Try and get the Mercury up as quickly as possible.
Yeah. But so what? We get the Mercury up here, and then up here we only have the exit where the barracks is, guards.
So we're either going
Yes.
to have to stealth it out at night, send somebody to go get the cart, and come in quiet at night with nobody seeing it and try and get it out again before the sun rises, or somehow talk our way past the guards. Try and convince them that the dragon sent for us to get some stuff out of the mine for it.
I imagine that's going to be you. You're going to be the one to talk your way through.
Yeah, that
Kirov?
if we do that, it's probably down to Kirov to do it.
Yeah. What's this we? It's you. It's not Albert. He's not good enough at that. But okay.
You will hear Deidre curse, and Deidre and Robert curse. What kind of a treasure is this? It's just a bunch of colored glass. Just worthless.
That's
Okay.
different. Kirov will go over and examine the treasure.
Yeah, it's probably a decoy or something, maybe.
Let's see. What do we use? How about a barter check? Because that's how we determine how.
Okay, I don't think I can justify the fine garments improving this. It's not like it's
No.
going to impress the
No.
treasure.
You cannot impress the treasure. Very sadly, but true. Yeah, you're looking through that treasure. I'd like people to roll a spot hidden check, please, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
look
is
at
going to
that.
work so well for angry concussed Kirov.
Probably not, no. Ow. Your head is just absolutely throbbing, isn't it? Ugh. Oh, my head. It hurts so much. How long is it going to take you to get rid? 6 days to get rid of this concussion. Yeah. That's a while.
We're going to be back on the boat heading back to the Empire before it's...
Yep. You're just going to be a bit woozy and a bit nauseous until you get on the ship, and then you'll be nauseous because of seasickness. Yay. Halveld and Wolfbane, you can both notice a couple of things here. So, yes, there is some stuff here, but it's just glass pieces that look like gems. Green, red, blue, yellow, but someone has been here before you. You can see traces of, there's some scattered actual gemstones and some scattered actual gold coins lying around here among the crushed glass. And you can see traces in the ground of like wheelbarrows, or one or two, like several boot prints as well. Someone has been here and hauled away a bunch of stuff.
Can we follow the boot prints?
Yes, you can. They will go straight towards the the great opening of the mine. Wild, why don't you roll? Halveld is also down there. Yeah, you can see standing by the. You see it clearly because it's a bright day. It's a bright day outside. Words are hard. And you can see silhouetted by now, after having been down in the mines for so long, whatever weather there is outside, the sunlight is going to be pretty bright for your eyes. And silhouetted against it, you can see 2 guards.
Huh.
Standing by the main opening. Yeah, the weather actually is terrible out there.
When we came up from the middle level, were there still a lot of goblins down there?
You can hear them chittering away, yeah.
I say we tell the goblins that those people have kidnapped their dragon god and create like a distraction.
That'll get them all killed.
But we could get away.
Are you sure? We're with our very heavy barrels of mercury. I think it'll take the guards about 5 minutes to kill the goblins. I don't know. Halveld's a bit attached to his little green goblin friends.
And it's gonna take an hour at least, and probably more, to winch all the mercury up. So we might as well do that first.
It's going to make some noise winching it up. Just looking at the system, it's rusty. And
Yeah.
You could use the last of your oil, the oil for your lamp, to make it work better and silence it a bit. But then you don't have any light anymore. Except, of course, for torches. So that's another thing to consider. Look, friends. We come this far, didn't it? We need to get those barrels up, and I think Wild is onto something here, isn't he? We can use the goblins as a distraction. They're only goblins after all, eh?
I'm surprised I'm saying this, but I'm with Rober on this one.
How often does this happen, that Wild and Rober agree on something? Gistaki is just generally ready by the winches because it feels like it's a job for him to winch things up. Or he goes down into the sub-level and start rolling barrels towards the winching system. That's a thing he can do too. I'm up for anything, boss. Whatever you need. I am not quite the strongest man on Mercury, because we know, I think that ogre is, what was his name again? Oberlax. He's probably a bit stronger than me, I'll grant him that, but among all the humans around, I think I can stand up to some. Anyway, where do you need me? And he gives you that typical himbo look of just wanting to help out.
I think it's probably best if I use the last of my lamp oil to grease the wheels, and then we can start cranking it in silence, because we can use torches, because we're not going to be in the mine for that much longer.
Yeah.
So we
You're
can
off.
get.
You're off.
we-
I have a suggestion. If I can just interject a second. Speaking of greasing wheels, that makes me think of two things. These guards are not exactly virtuous souls, are they? They stole from the dragon. And the dragon probably isn't aware. So maybe you could have a chat with them and utilize a threat of, we'll tell the dragon if you don't let us pass with the Mercury. And also, we have some money, right? They may be open to bribery, these guys. We say, hey, look, we won't tell the dragon, and we'll give you a cut, like a couple of gold crowns or something, if you just let us pass.
Although if they stole the entire dragon horde, they may not be impressed with little bits of bribe money. I think the threat of the dragon is probably far more severe.
Yeah, I think trying to blackmail him will just make him try to attack us. I'm all for getting the goblins to attack him, and either we can finish off the guards then with the goblins' help, or just try and sneak past while they're dealing with the goblins.
Yeah, but we still have to get the empty cart in, and then get it out loaded with Mercury. If we're not going to fight the entire garrison, we need the guards' cooperation for an extended period of time, not just a few minutes of distraction.
What do we know about the garrison for you guys? We know two things. There is a tower outside this mine, down to when you're looking out through the door here, it would be down on the slope to your left, possibly a few hundred yards. The tower itself is not terribly big. It's maybe 3-4 stories, enough to keep watch, as it were, but not much more than that. You've seen the map before. Now, of course, you would be about here, because that's the main entrance. So you have at least a couple of guards here now, standing by the doorway. How big is the garrison? Could it be half a dozen? Maybe a little bit more? You don't really know, because you haven't watched it for long enough, and you certainly didn't go there to sneak up on that tower, so no investigation of that place has been done. The rest of the Tokorian soldiers, as far as, are all in Ahhe. That garrison has several hundred soldiers in it, though, so if the bonfire, the signal fire on the top of the mountain were ever to be lit, then they can get... Because you saw that also when you were sneaking into the mine, right? That there was a bonfire on top. Then they could get some hefty reinforcements over here. But it would take a while, because it takes a while to travel from Ahhe to here.
Okay, this is another option to consider. What about if Halveld backtracks out through the secret passage, comes out through the office, goes back down to where the dwarf and the cart are, just rides in the open until the guards stop him and say he's here to talk to the dragon expert guy. And since he wanted to talk to him anyway, maybe take somebody else with a good persuasion with him and just try and get his go-ahead. Say, we've got permission from the dragon to take this Mercury. Can you let us through, please?
I
And then
think
the
they
rest
just saw the
stay
dragon
here
fly
and
out.
clean the stuff up.
Didn't the dragon just fly out? They probably have seen the dragon just fly off.
Which may mean the dragon expert is looking for some answers, which you can provide.
Okay, but the Calvel isn't a face. person. He could maybe give it a go with one of his wonderful what's it called? Transfer it to Myths and Legends somehow with that thing again.
Adaptive.
Because
I
this
don't know
will be
how I'll
like
swing that
this
by
will
the
be
storyteller,
expert
but
talking to expert.
Yep.
no, okay, but we have to assume it's nighttime now, right? So the guy might not
It is
be
not
here.
nighttime.
He'll
It's daytime.
might be-
It's dark. Remember, you spent 6 hours sleeping down here. It's daytime.
Oh, of
now.
course. Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
it's like
Um,
mid-afternoon by now. And
Halveld shows
yeah.
up with the cart
What was that?
and then says, "Hey, I made a deal with the dragon, or that we can pick up the Mercury." And he just lets us through, and we fill the cart and we drive away.
Yeah, that's the best
Would that
solution I
work?
can come up with.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'll attempt that, and you will. We can always keep some bribery behind. Let's say, how do we say in the Dutch? Behind the hand, bribery as a backup, and also maybe if things get hairy, you can just instigate the goblins and send them running out, the little goblin horde. I mean,
You could
yeah,
probably
if they
do
get, and it'd be easier to do that because if they get like if they start like hassle, a lot of H's, hassling Halveld, then you can tell the goblins, look, they're going after your guy or whatever. Okay, no, sure. They'll go around and yeah, he'll do that. It might take a while though, of course, to get there, but and get
Well,
the
it'll
cart
take us a
around.
while to get all the barrels up anyway. And I was
Okay,
thinking
so you guys, yeah, all right.
that
yeah.
it would probably be good if you took somebody persuasive with you as well, just as a backup. And kind of needs to be here for the mining equipment, I think. So, and
He
he's
could
fairly
take-
strong.
Okay, he's strong. Deidre, I think, or is it who else is there? Parama is fairly charismatic, isn't she? Although, would she be aboard with this? Or what about Skelefta? Skelefta.
Left
You can call me Eva.
Skelefta.
Skeleton. That sounds like skeleton suddenly.
Yeah, it
Which
does.
is suddenly
I'm
much
sorry.
more
Okay,
sinister.
Oh, okay. You're wearing dark sunglasses. All right.
She is.
Okay, let me put it this way. Any volunteers to join Halveld on this bold adventure to
I can join.
Aldering? Okay.
So Halveld, what is the plan for Halveld again?
He walks all the way around, meets up with the dwarf with the cart. They drive around to the front door, and then he convinces the guards that they've made a deal with the dragon to pick up the Mercury. And yeah. It's
So we're going to
simple as
start
that,
bringing
really.
up the Mercury while you're doing all that, I believe,
Yeah,
correct?
exactly. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. He can say something like, look, if the dragon doesn't want me, you'll find out soon enough. But we'll hope the dragon hasn't returned by then. Oh, that's it, I think.
Then, let's head outside, shall we? This is gonna be a situation, isn't it? It's not gonna take you too long to get all the way around to the Watchtower, because of the passage, so I'm gonna say a simple 15 minutes or so, just to get to going around and going outside like that. This is Halveld, Eva, and anyone else?
I'll stay to help bring up the Mercury.
Very well. And you're gonna go and talk to the dwarves, who are, of course, on the other side of this. You will notice that, of course, right now, outside the mine, the weather is absolutely atrocious. It's
That's
just
good because
whipping
that'll
into your
make it
face.
easier for you to get out of the office and down the hill to where the cart is without being
It
seen.
does. So why don't you roll a sneaking check with a boon, a bonus die? Because the guards are probably just inside the cave mouth because it's too nasty weather to... Well, Halveld is definitely someone who is like a ninja in the night. Inseparable from the gray of the mountains.
I am one with the rain.
Yes, you are. And the rain is with you.
And
And
Skeletors as well. Look at that.
anyway,
I'm just
yes.
kidding.
Skellefteå, of course, is a city in Sweden. Just it's a real place. In the north. The dwarves are down by the cart. They have put up tarps. They've basically set up a small camp down there. It's not it's one dwarf, a young'un, not a long beard yet, and definitely not being outside. The poor animal is standing there and just shaking its head in this miserable weather and just dripping, horrifying, and just sad animal. But you can get inside the tarp and to the dwarf, who's gonna look up and go, "Oh, you're still alive! I was beginning to fear the worst. I saw the dragon fly away just last night, wasn't it? Some hours after you left?"
Oh. Yeah, it's been interesting. But we're not finished just quite yet. The Mercury
Are the others alive?
We have a fair bit of Mercury, and it's waiting for us at the entrance. All we need to do, my good dwarven friend, is torque our way with the cart past the guards and pick up the Mercury.
I fear that cannot be done. After the dragon left, there was some commotion up there. I did not go any closer because I don't. I have strict instructions from Guelman to not disturb the Tricorians, but they lit the bonfire. It's
Okay.
probably not
What
lit
does that
now
mean?
because of this weather, but the bonfire, that's a signal beacon.
What does it signal exactly?
Oh, I cannot tell you. I'm not part of the garrison now, am I? I'm just a simple blacksmith apprentice, me. But the Tricorians are it's something.
Okay. Oh. Could we have a look and see how many guards are still remaining? Halville use his little ninja techniques to get closer and just have a look to see exactly what the state is of the garrison.
Sure.
Because
Why
there's
not?
there's over here, there's how because the garrison is over here, by the way.
The
So
garrison
the guards,
is
there's
number 4,
two guards,
and there's two
there's
guards,
two guards
by
here.
the door.
and there's two up here.
Yeah. I might move them because of the terrible weather, but they're up there. Yeah, they're gonna. You will be able to see light inside of the tower, given how bad the weather is right now.
Yeah. Okay.
If someone has lit a torch or something in there, there's definitely going to be, you're definitely going to be able to see it through the hatches.
Yeah.
These 4 are probably just the beginning of the garrison, but to
That's all right.
determine the
That's
number,
all right.
you'd have to sneak
I
down here and look in through the windows.
No, Alva's not going to do that. Right now, the rain is our friend, and he looks at the dwarf and he says, I played Smickleboard against the dragon naked, and I'm still here. We can make this happen. Now, the fact that the beacon is lit is actually to our advantage, because we are here because the beacon has been lit. We are under orders to get the Mercury out while the dragon is away, because this is a plan that's been put into motion, that's been prepared for in such event, because of the extreme importance of the Mercury, etc., etc. It's above your pay grade type thing. So we're just going to bluff. We're going to bluff our way and say we're here because the beacon is lit to get the Mercury out. What do you think?
The dwarf is just stroking his beard and, that might work. But I think it'd be better if you take the cart for yourselves. I think if I'm part of that little expedition, they might get suspicious, me being a dwarf and all. But you're all humans, and you look all official looking, and maybe a bit Tricorian yourself, eh?
Yep. He says, if you could just maybe be on a lookout or something.
I can do that.
Okay. All right, here we go. And he'll say, who wants to hop on? We'll try to I don't know, with his belongings, put together something to make himself look a bit more official, maybe, or
You have
or,
fine
doff
clothes?
himself down. He's got some fine
You have
garments.
fine
I don't know if he
garments,
would
that
have
will
taken them
work,
with
yeah.
him, but
That will work.
yeah, and yeah, that's what the plan is. I don't know. That's what his idea is. Does anybody else have anything to interject before?
Seeing as only Khlefteva is with you, I'd say she's the one who's gonna have any comments on this, right?
Yeah. Any thoughts, comments, screams?
Screams. Khlefteva sits on the cart and screams all the way up. Apparently no interjections.
Hello,
I
can you
got the
hear me?
sense you were,
Yes, I can hear
you're
you.
thinking. I got the sense you were just thinking what to say, right? Or...
No, I think the connection went down for a bit.
Oh.
I was saying that no, I have no comments.
Okay.
Very well then.
All right.
We're gonna
Off we
have
go.
to do something about that poor animal that has to be harnessed to the cart in this storming weather, literally. It's a spring storm that is wreaking havoc on the landscape. So I'm gonna say a beast lore check, maybe with a bane to get the animal to comply. Of course, Khlefteva does have Animal Whisperer, a spell that could be useful.
Oh, then I'll
Though
try to.
it's mainly
Whisper?
just the Animal Whisperer is mainly just used to ask animals questions, not necessarily convince them of doing things.
Ask him. Oh, sorry. You go.
Oh no, you go first.
No, you could ask him like, "Is there anything we can do for you? Is there anything we can that you need to make yourself more comfortable?" That kind of stuff. Maybe we could.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I will do that.
Or you can ask a number of questions equal to the power level of the spell.
Do I just press the spell?
Yep. So on the main tab, you click on the spell, and that's going to bring you to the interface for casting.
Okay. Huh.
And you decide power level. The higher the power level, the more willpower you're spending for it.
And 2.
Look at you go. So... yeah, you need to speak to the animal somehow. Yeah, so you're out here in the horrible weather and you're whispering into the ear of the animal. What is the magic word you say? Alakazam?
Yeah, that. And then. Is
Alakazam.
there anything?
That's Abacadabra.
Alakazam is also fine, of course. Yeah. It's the Swedish version. It's a.
Okay.
I think it's from an old Smurfs album, but
Oh, is it?
yeah. Or was it? What's it? Pellavine and John and Pellavine from the. That's where the Smurfs were. Anyway, never mind the weird European comics. Eva is in fact talking to the animal, and you're gonna ask it questions, aren't you? The animal standing there shaking its raggy head. You get to ask it 2 questions. It's looking at you like, it's miserable. Moo.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Hey, Mr. Animal, do you need help with something?
Yes. Where is a good stable when you need one?
If I help you find a stable, could you help us?
Wait if I must. I just want to get inside.
Okay, yeah, of course. I'll turn to and tell him. We might need to find a stable for the animal to help us.
All right. What we're going to do is we're going to, there's a stable, there's a dry area nearby. We can go there. Tell him we can go there for a short period. Do we have any food or anything like that that he might want to eat?
Well, you might
Well-
give the animal a field ration.
Yeah.
Whatever dried fruits and such to make it more compliant.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So he'll say,
There you go.
yeah, that there's a, we'll, okay, because he asked, we'll take him to a stable, like a dry area nearby, because he'll fit, we'll walk him into the tunnel.
Yeah.
So that, he doesn't know what that is, so we'll say, we're doing it especially for him. But then on the way back, yeah, that's lying to a donkey, I'm just so low. But then after that, he's going to do some pretty heavy work. But once he's done that, we'll reward him with, we can guarantee that he'll be a whole month in a warm stable with all the food and attentions he could want as a reward.
Can you?
I don't know
now?
if you could.
This sounds like you're gonna bluff the animal, but we'll take one step at a time.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we could swing that with the dwarves. We're like, hey, here's your Mercury. Put the donkey in the stable for a month and just keep him happy.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
I think that's not too much of a... I think that
Very well.
Alvil always pays his debts.
After some discussions to and fro, with the animal not being happy at all, but you promised some dry space here. It's going to allow you to harness it to the wagon, and slowly but surely you're going all the way up to the mine entrance. And of course, as you're getting up there and getting closer to the actual entrance, the two guards will immediately, I mean, they've been honestly sitting on some old boxes or whatever, just probably put up a small campfire inside, just inside the mine opening here. Just brought some firewood from their camp essentially to warm themselves. Their cloaks are fluttering a bit in the wind gusts that come in, and every once in a while the wind gust will carry some rain with it inside and make them wet again. But they're gonna spring up there, and they have their shields and they have their scimitars, and they're gonna get up there. Now, before we do that, you talked about winching up stuff here in the mine, and I do want someone, Kiro preferably, because you're the one with the oil, to roll a crafting check to make sure this thing is silent enough so you can actually get stuff up here without the guards noticing, as it were. That's not ideal.
All right.
Because so
No,
far
Kira
you've
seems like the kind of guy who would have WD-40 with him. I'm just saying.
been... Okay, so
Failed
we have
twice.
I
tried
can try.
greasing up this thing, and so far it's been a failure.
I can try.
Guess you can. Oh, look
Hey.
at that. The wild comes to the rescue here. Okay then, you have greased up the thing. Who is down below? Okay, are we gonna send Gistaki down below to deal with? He's not very good with bushcraft, so he's going to get cold and possibly pass out down there. Someone who is good with bushcraft should be the one who is down in the mine and actually...
I have 10.
You have a 10.
I can try. Yeah.
Kirov has a 5, so it should not be Kirov. Perma could try, but she is, as so many other times, exhausted, so her getting the barrels out is unlikely. The best bushcraft among you is actually Rober. You wouldn't believe it, but that is the case. So I guess he can try to go down there. He is not a strong fellow, I'm gonna say. He's wiry, looks more like Halvel than Gistaki. So, yeah, it's
I
probably
could go down and help him.
very...
I could do that.
You're just near death. Isn't that great? Nobody's bothered to heal you, apparently.
Yeah, that short rest didn't do a lot of favors to a lot of people.
Yeah, it really didn't.
We can do a quick retcon here and have Cliffhanger do some healing on you if you want.
Sure, I would take that.
Do you want to do
Yeah.
a treat wound on Wild
Yeah,
so
sure.
he doesn't freeze to death in the cold
I
water
don't die.
downstairs? Because it feels like the kind of thing you would have thought about before going downstairs and splitting.
Yeah.
Particularly since Halveld has a very high. That didn't work at all, did it? You're trying to cast the spell and just the energies, they're slippery today. They just etheric winds are just not hard for you to get your mental grip on.
I have a healing potion I could use, I suppose.
You do, yeah. Perima has some of that Demona water as well that she could use.
Maybe I'll take a swig of that. Yeah.
Very well. Demona water it is.
How do I do that?
You take a swig and you get some Demona water. Let me see here.
Okay.
Where is it? It is... I need to get the right page here where I have all the stuff for the actual water. Here we go. Oh, okay. It actually doesn't heal wounds. It retains other properties. It removes
healing
exhaustion.
potion it is.
It removes exhaustion, and it will, in fact, remove... It's an antidote to poisons. And that's about it, apparently.
Oh, okay. I am exhausted, so I guess I could still take that.
You can do that, yes.
All right.
There you
Not
go.
exhausted.
You are no longer exhausted.
But then I'll just drink my healing potion.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and also whoever is down the mine loading the stuff on, we should have safety cover. Somebody else should go down there who will stay out of the water, but strong enough that if Stacky passes out in the water, they can drag him to dry ground.
Wild feels so much better after drinking that. Yeah, the warmth spreading through your body between the water and the potion. You feel your muscles waking up again. They're no longer as stiff or as stuck in rigor as they were before. They're getting loose and nice. Yeah, you can do this. You can do this. All right, let's go. So Rober's gonna go with you down there. He's gonna roll a strength check, which is not very encouraging, but he's gonna do it. He succeeded. How about Wild? Roll a strength check. Good for you. I'm gonna roll bushcraft for Rober, and you're gonna roll bushcraft too. Rober is completely fine. He is not even particularly cold. Just this work of getting into that room and then hauling the barrels. You're rolling them on the bottom, basically. But they get stuck every once on the uneven ground. But it is sweaty work, so I guess it compensates a bit for being in icy cold water up to your torso. It's, yeah. And then one by one, slowly but surely, you're gonna fast, and then of course the moment you have rolled the barrel to the edge, you just rush back out of the water onto the ledge where it's dry and shakes some heat into your frozen limbs again, so you don't have to actually take pain from this. But it's cold. Wakes you up in the day, doesn't it? Now we have the problem of actually winching the things up. And Gistaki can try. He has a lot of strength.
Could we all try to get, like, how big is the actual winch? Could we all kind of try and...
I think you'll
combined
need to
strength into
do
it?
one barrel at a time, honestly, because, as I said, it's 700 pounds per barrel.
Can we all help to lift it up? So, pull the winch?
Once you have secured a barrel to the winch, I guess you can all run up and do the work together.
All right.
How are we gonna do that without the guards knowing? You did oil it up properly, and they're not really paying attention to the inside of the cave. Yeah, are we gonna do a sneaking check? Everybody who's doing this, roll a sneaking check, I guess. But you don't have any banes because it's not making a whole lot of noise. And I guess Gistaki is not wearing his plate at the moment.
Yeah,
Because,
I'll take my studded off for this.
Because he's pretty good at sneaking, actually. Look at you go. Both of you are just amazing at this. Okay, so by the time our friends outside have arrived with the cart, you've managed to get one full barrel up, all the way up to the top of the shaft. And that is how the guards... The guards are apparently oblivious, because you've been sneaky people here. And the guards are standing up. Hey, hold! What are you doing here? This mine is off limits to civilians. Halveld, Skellefteå,
Aye.
it's the time for your plan.
Oh, God. All right. Ava, do you have any, I don't know, any spells we might want to cast beforehand which could assist us in any way? Does Halveld know you're a spellcaster? I'm not sure. I think we're aware of that now, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You've seen her
I
heal
have-
people before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 3 spells.
Hang on. Actually, Halveld's not going to ask that because he hates magic. But and actually, he runs away screaming as you whisper to the donkey. In retrospect, but, oh,
Over his ears and
Just sits inside
Yeah.
the tarp together with the dwarf and just shudders as Skellefteå goes out and does something
yeah. Exactly.
terrifying.
Oh God, I love that as well. It's just like this. Oh no, it's the spellcaster, and like the whole time you've been like shuffling around near him as well, so making him extra uncomfortable. Let's see. Yeah, but I don't know. Is there anything you'd like to do before Halveld attempts to talk our way past the guards, or would you like?
Since we're in a mountain, are there any roots here?
Nah, not really.
Okay, then I can't do anything. Sorry.
No roots, no problems. Okay. All right. Halveld will try to like sit up straight in the way that officials do. And what were the words he said? He said what sentence did he use again? You're something official, or you're not official, or
Oh, this mine is off limit to civilians.
yes, exactly. And Halveld will say something like, "Yes, of course it is, you fool." But
That's the right
but now
approach,
that the
by the
beacon
way.
is lit,
You're supposed to insult them. It's the Tricorian way. So come up with the
Yeah,
most clever
yeah,
insult
exactly.
you've
I was
ever-
thinking
yeah.
he's going to. So he said, "Yeah, you fool, you romping morons. Now that the beacon is being lit, you you complete imbeciles. We're obviously going to be taking the Mercury out for ourselves, for the Empire, before that half-wit dragon." And he, with passion, he insults the dragon. Oh, good lord, he's going to dig deep with insults that I will not be able to say, because even though we have an R rating, he might.
Oh, that
go
will be
too
like
far.
NC-17 rating here.
And yeah, so he's going to lay it hard down on the dragon with a lot of passion, which might hopefully will come across very sincerely. So now for the Empire, we're going to remove as much Mercury as we can. And and the Empire has provided a powerful sorceress to make that happen. Stand aside, and you idiots. And, that's what he says.
There we go, with emphasis. Roll a bluffing check.
All right. How can I use myths and legends for this? Let's see.
You can drag up all the, all the Tricorian laws, the various paragraphs that you're invoking, and all the legal... You're throwing legalese at them, basically.
Yeah.
Why did
Yeah,
you
exactly.
roll that, Deva?
Okay.
Okay, I don't know why.
What? Oh, I misclicked. Sorry.
Yeah, clearly.
Ava in the background is just like looking through some shrubs or something. Just don't mind me. Just let's see. Maybe if Ava could try and look very sinister or powerful. I don't know. Just pretend you're like act as if you're a
Oh, you
very
want her to
powerful,
roll a bluffing
destructive
instead?
sorceress.
I can roll buffing.
But you just paid your 3 willpower to activate adaptives.
No,
Roll your myths and legends.
No, I mean, that was just like for her roll, but
Okay.
he's still going to use myth and legend for the bluff. But I was thinking maybe I could get like an advantage or something on
You
the
have
bluff.
an advantage. You have a boon from your fine clothes. You look like a very
okay.
yes.
Well,
You,
then,
you have fine garments, just like a very wealthy Tricorian should have, which means that obviously you are better than them.
of course, fool. All right, let's go. Oh, look at that.
That succeeded. Here's a fun thing. In Tricoria, when you are on official business, because of course this empire is heavily influenced by ancient Mesopotamia, you will want to have the official documents are made not on paper. If you have a license or such, including affidavits for court and whatnot, they're not made on paper. They're made on clay tablets and burned in a furnace to be more permanent. Like a clay tablet is not going to be affected by a rainstorm, right? Unfortunately, you don't have one of those. That would have given you even more of a boon. But apparently, your knowledge of the legal framework of the Empire is sufficient to confuse the guards completely. And they will be... yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, they're looking at each other a little bit. I don't want to get in the way of that. Don't want any trouble with the procurator or the magister, do we? No, we don't. So they're going to stand aside. They're clearly of the I'm not paid enough to intervene with this BS mindset at the moment. So I guess that means that we're going to get some barrels onto a cart. Because the guards have moved out of the way. And you're coming in with the cart. Right? And...
Yep. All right. I'll
As you're doing this...
give Eva a high five and then realize that she's an evil spell. Like she's a weird spell.
No, let's not touch her. It's better not to. Yeah.
I guess you're not evil though. You're not an evil spellcaster. Obviously, What kind of magic does Eva cast? It's like
Animism.
animal magic.
But,
or...
it's animal related, healing and nature related.
Okay. All right.
And if you ask the animists, they are the goodest guys of all.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
So
no
next monster
fireballs
as well.
from her. No fireballs.
All right. Here's the cart, fellas. Let's load it up and get out of here.
If it was only that easy.
Yeah.
You see, downstairs, I think that the goblins have noted that there are barrels coming up through the shaft for the first time ever. And as you are coming up here with the barrels, goblins will come sneaking up to see what's going on. Let's see if anyone might notice this. Feel free to roll a spot hidden to discover goblins coming out of the depths of the mine. Well, Halveld seemed to have succeeded very well indeed.
I'm very close to them.
You are indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
Kirov does not.
All right.
He is busy just, I don't know,
Yeah.
overseeing the loading procedure?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also, what Kirov would have been doing, if looking at the size of the barrels and looking at the size of the cart, it looks like they wouldn't all fit. I noticed there's a small cart here already in the entrance hall of the mine.
Yep.
So he'd be fixing that up with his carpentry tools to maximize its capacity so we could have another way to get some more barrels out.
That makes sense. All right, so that's what you're doing. Halveld, as you come in, you're going to see the glint of goblin eyes as they're slowly moving up. And you're gonna hear the scream of the priestess to you, Halveld. What are you doing? A sacrilege!
Oh. Oh.
Everything in this mine belongs to the dragon!
Indeed.
And we're
but
taking him to the dragon because he's not here anymore.
The
dragon is always here!
You
Bloody
do remember the
Foggers the
Schmickelboard game
Great!
we had?
What was that,
You do
Halveld?
remember the? He brings up that he was playing. He 1-on-1 was able to play a Schmickelboard game with the dragon, and they weren't there to see the result, I believe.
That is a good point. And you're still alive, which means that you clearly won or something. I mean,
Well,
who
he's gonna
plays
say-
Schmickelboard against the dragon and loses and lives to tell the tale?
Yeah.
Why don't you get a boon
and
on your
he-
bluff? Actually,
Alright,
two
he's gonna
boons.
say-
You're going to get 2 boons on your
Oh.
bluff. One, because you actually played the Schmickelboard, and 2,
Okay.
because you are sort of part of the Bloody Foggers cult at this point.
Okay. Yeah. And he's going to defeating their winning would be maybe too much, but he'll say that it was like a remise, it was a tie of some kind, and he was allowed to live and take some of these barrels with him, as agreed upon with the dragon. Oh,
Succeeded
Yes!
with
Yes.
a dragon on the bluffing check. Oh,
Shit.
great
scored.
and worshipful had the dragoner. Oh, you will advance quickly through the ranks. She's going to go over and bless you with her shin bone and take some of her... She has a pouch with some kind of very stinky goop in it, and she's going to smear it on your forehead and your shoulders to mark you as
yeah.
apprentice priest of the Bloody Foggers cult.
Final insult. Okay, I'll take it. It's alright. Yeah.
It's not an insult, it's an honor.
No, it's an honor. Yes. He will smile and pretend that he's enjoying basking in this occasion.
Clearly.
All right. Okay. And yeah. All right. No, I guess that's it, right? Yeah. I guess I know you guys. Let's get going.
All right. I'm going to say it's going to take you basically the rest of the shift to pack this cart, because it's a lot of stuff, isn't it? But the guards are not interfering, and the goblins aren't interfering, and so it is that you will leave the mine behind with a cart, with a dwarf eventually. So I can just replace... with a cart loaded filled with Mercury barrels, as many as you could possibly get onto it. And now you have to go into this horrible storm, and you know what? The animal doesn't want to go out there. It's like, you promised a month of being in the stable.
Oh,
We might need some beast lore here to convince the animal to go out in this terrible weather.
Hang on. He was going to get the whole month stable thing after the way back.
Who
Look at
says
this. You
that?
can't trust donkeys anymore.
Who says that this animal was smart enough to understand that part?
Okay, that's true.
It's an animal you're
All right.
talking to.
All right, who wants to have a... Alvild's tired. Does someone else want to have a beast lore roll? Go.
I can try. I only have a 5.
Oh, no, good lord. Somebody with like above a 10?
Yeah, Kirov also only has a 5, and he's concussed and angry, which is the perfect state of mind for dealing with an animal.
yeah. And I only have a 6.
Okay,
Wow.
all right. Okay. How
But you
will sort of
remember,
like a-
all humans in the group can use their adaptive talent to switch to something else.
Yeah, you guys should start doing that as well. It's fun cheating. I mean, playing using the skill.
It only costs you 3 willpower points.
Yeah.
Of course, if Kieran's
I-
literally out of willpower points.
I have my companion ability. Could that work? Or
What?
make
Are you
it-
gonna make the animal your companion?
Oh,
Yeah.
We're buttons.
Let's do that.
Let's see. Description. You can activate this ability to turn an animal into your companion. It takes a stretch of time and you can only have one animal companion at a time. The animal follows you as long as you remain in its natural environment, and it can scout for you at no additional willpower cost. For 3 additional willpower, you can command the animal to attack an enemy. Free action for you. So yeah, if you spend your
With our
3
cart.
willpower points
Yeah.
to make the animal your companion, it will
Yeah,
definitely follow you out.
All right, let's
Here,
do
here. Wildest. I know
Wild
how
with
to
the
handle
wind.
animals.
Yeah. All right.
that. That's
Nice.
how many willpower
That's-
points?
You just go into the main tab of your character sheet,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay. There we go. Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
There you
All
go.
right. There you go.
And so it is that we will leave the mines behind, the Mercury mine behind, and head. First of all, you meet with a dwarf, and the dwarf is going to say thank you very much, grab the cart and the animal, and go wherever. But it's going to also give you a reward for getting the barrels out.
How many barrels did we get out?
I'm going to be generous and say that you got 6 barrels out.
Oh, nice. All right.
So that's going to be 300 gold coins for you, isn't it? That's a
I'm getting a new bow.
decent sum, isn't it? Who has space for 300 gold? Not Halveld. You can take 100.
How much-
Oh, look at that. You
how much do they
you can
weigh?
have a lot. I can grab 100. There we go. Everybody's grabbed 100. Where are your donkeys?
Yeah, we left them behind, I think.
In Arham or somewhere in the wilderness close by?
Did we leave them nearby? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we brought. They were just behind the.
Oh, they're probably behind the
These
cart.
hill.
Yeah. You're not going to get very far away from the mine in this horrible weather. It is getting, in this weather, it's darker than it would have been with some sun outside. You could potentially, well, can you make it to Arham? Potentially. But I feel like that's going to be another shift of walking in this dreadful weather. Yeah. At least another shift. Or are we just going to make camp out here? Do we have a tent still? A large tent? Did you buy a new one? I don't recall.
I think we were going to, but who has it?
Don't see any large tent here. Let's see now. Grotto. No large tent on him. Grotto doesn't have a large tent. Oh! Grotto has a large tent. Okay, we're all good. He also has the Great Mammoth Horn. Also, we need some field rations spent. 4 of them in total. I can grab 2 out of Grotto's bag here. And then we need 2 more spent from someone. Who is going to spend 2 field rations?
I can.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
Wild spends a couple of field rations. Down to 1. And we need someone to roll that bushcraft roll with a boon for the large tent, I believe it is, isn't it? It's been a while since we had a
I'll
large
hope-
tent, isn't it? Yep, it's a boon.
Not
Okay, Hal, you are the one, which is a good thing, because in this weather, it's pretty horrible all around. And
That says beast law. Shouldn't it have been bushcraft?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's,
Yes,
Okay,
yes, it
bushcraft.
should be bushcraft.
Bushcraft is 1 lower. It's a 14. So, but I can roll as well. Again.
all right, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, okay. So we have ourselves a camp. And you have yourselves... Now, it was 300 gold, but it's going to be split between you and the other 3. So there's 4 of you. Parima doesn't want or need any. And there's 3 of them. So 300 gold split 7 ways is going to be 40 gold per person, basically.
All right. Not bad.
It's not terrible.
Oh, good lord. Alveld already has a lot of gold.
Yeah, I'm going to
Or
fix
unused.
that.
Oh, no, that's fine. You can leave it right there. That's all right. It's...
Yeah. Eva, you might have recovered all the money that you lost, right?
Yeah, I think so.
How does that feel? Like you can tell your ex to go suck it.
An angry message to him right away.
Exactly. I don't know how. It's the principle of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So here we are, sitting in our camp, and it's away from the mines a little bit. Maybe you've moved for maybe an hour or so. You can't see a whole lot that far because of the storm. And by the time you get inside the tents and get some kind of shelter up, maybe a little bit of a fire even, things are going to feel so much better than being out on the road in the miserable storm. Poor Dwarf has to go all the way to wherever with that cart. Very sad. But how are we going to organize the watch here? Because now you are out in the wilderness again. Who is going to sleep? Who's going to keep watch?
I can keep watch.
Robert is counting coins. 1, 2, 3. Lots. Gold. The 3 of them are definitely celebrating that they have more gold now. They've got some from Curry. They've got some from the Mercury mine. They're very pleased. And I think Robert is going to look towards the rest of you and ask, now that we've been in such a great partnership for a little while here, where's the next? Do you have any more plans that might be similarly profitable, eh?
Hero?
And Kirov will's next plan, head north and destroy a cult of necromancers at the Iron Tower.
Perima nods, and she's sitting there by the fire as well. And yes, it is time now to fulfill the prophecy. I don't know exactly how we will achieve this. It is probably going to be very difficult work, but first we have to go to Ahhe, don't we? To talk to the Dwarfs and learn about the secrets, yes?
Buy wild
yeah.
bow and buy more food because we're nearly out, aren't we?
Yes, all of that maybe, yes. It cannot harm. But I cannot say that we have a lot of gold to offer for such an expedition. I have a little bit from the temple, I suppose. I can share with you. If you want to go with us. You will know that you will do the work of the gods.
No, you don't need to pay anything. You'll interrupt this. You don't need to pay anything. You can expect there to be many spoils from this cult, and you will gain an equal share.
So you're saying that these people you're going to fight, they're rich then?
Yes, they're very rich.
He gets that glint
and
in his
we
eye.
have on our side, we have dwarves and giants, because we have giants who will help us, and we have a sizable force, and they will not expect us to come. So we have surprise and numbers, and you can join that enterprise.
Deirdre's just gonna look at like Drober and say, Robert, I think we should go. They're promising us slaughter and mayhem and all sorts of fun. She's just gonna do a vicious smile.
Well, I don't know. Do we want them to join us, or?
Yeah, I think there's a.
I mean, we spent a lot of money on.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, we
Yeah.
upgraded the dude. Yeah,
You spent a lot of money
I
on
want him to get to
Mustaki.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Very well. It
Okay.
seems like you have another deal, doesn't it? You
Yep.
just keep hiring these hirelings for all
Yeah.
sorts of good reasons.
And maybe we could get our weapons and spend our coin with the dwarves, and maybe it'd be a good idea to avoid the human settlement for a little bit. Just go straight to the dwarves, and we can buy gear. And Abraction's there, I think.
The dwarves are... Oh, you don't want to go to Guelman? Because he has promised you guys mastercrafted weapons from the smithy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, let's do that first.
From the
Get a nice
smithy.
bow.
Wild, not from the Fletcher. Just saying. Not from the bowmaker. He's a
Damn
smith,
it.
not a bowmaker. Just,
I'll still go there.
Alright. So, Khalefteva will take first watch. Who's taking second watch?
I'll take second watch.
Very well. And you all died horribly, horribly during the night due to...
Yeah,
was
that
not
tracks.
climate, wasn't it?
Due to an avalanche that just flattens their whole.
Yep, it
camp.
just swept you out into the fjord. Everybody's gone.
Yeah. That was a bit of a letdown. Yeah.
A little bit, maybe, yeah. I have good news for you. As we are getting to the new day, feel free to, all of you, get a full shift rest. For the first time in forever.
Right.
Feels so much better that way, doesn't it?
Huh.
Kirov only has 5 days of concussion left.
Yay. Good for you. Okay, so what was that? Like that, and like that. There we go. To get all the markers off. Okay. Alright, it's a new day, and the storm has abated considerably, and I guess we are slowly but surely heading back towards Ahhe, aren't we?
Yep.
Yes, let's think about what else do we need to buy once we're there? Apart from our master weapons and new bow for wild, we need more food, and we need definitely more lamp oil.
Yep.
Anything
That
else?
makes sense. Which one was that again? Is it that one? No. Is it that one? Yes, that was the one. Alright, it's gonna take you a shift to get to Ahhe. It's early in the morning, it's raining, but the storm has definitely passed, so it's a much more navigable rain. Just getting towards a drizzle, really. And it is. Unless you all tumble down the mountainside into the fjord and die. Oh my!
Did we
What
do
am I
that?
rolling? Did you just all tumble down the mountainside into the fjord and die?
What are we on? Yeah.
No, you don't. So, that's fine. Here we go. Ahhe, we're back! In this nice little town. And we were gonna buy some stuff. Lots of stuff. Adventurer equips themselves, right? You're gonna roll into Ahhe somewhere around noon, because it still takes that amount of time to get in here. You have to across the distance, as it were. Stomachs might be growling. So what are we gonna buy? Shopping! Let's go shopping! Food, obviously. Poor Grotto and Grotto are gonna be loaded up with stuff. Aren't they? Also, because you've slept and you've marched across, at the end of this session, I'm gonna give you a nice prize. I'm gonna give you a new heroic ability because you've done a lot of heroic stuff on this island, haven't you? But we'll talk about that at the end of the session. What did we want to buy, my friends? What did we want to buy? I heard Wild talking about a longbow.
Yep.
Very well then. Let's see. Ranged weapons. Longbow is uncommon. I'm gonna say it exists around here. There are very few trees on this island, so longbows will be extra expensive.
I just got 40 more gold, so.
You did, but it's gonna cost you 100.
What?
Oh yeah. How have you seen how few trees there are on this island? Around here, people hunt mostly with spears, slings, and crossbows because it takes less wood to build. You have to
I'll
ship
bar
the stuff
that
in.
down.
What was that? Yeah, you'll barter that
I'll
down.
barter.
In spite of your headache.
Yeah.
Oh, it's charisma, not. So that succeeds.
Alright.
Bartering here.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. That's how. This is why. Yeah, exactly. Why you want a barterer person in your group. So you will have the price down by 20%. So instead of paying 100 gold, you only have to pay 80. Which is still more than you have. But I have a feeling there are some other people around here. Grotto
Yeah, how
has
much? Yeah. Oh,
Grotto has 96 gold in the saddlebags. Giotto has another 68.
Yeah, you can take that for your weapons, of course. That's not a problem.
All right, so grab 60 out of Grotto's
I mean-
pack and 20 out of Grotto's. Yeah, so there we are. Which means that we can consolidate things a little bit here. So now Grotto sits on all the sort of reserve gold with 84 in the saddlebags. All right, that means that Wolfbane has now a new longbow. How does that make you
Alright.
feel?
now I feel better.
Now you feel better. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what do other people want?
I think I just need lamp oil.
Lamp oil. That's going to cost you 5 billion gazillion bucks. It's not.
That seems a bit excessive.
It is a little bit excessive, yeah. Lamp oil is probably under L. No, it wasn't. Why not? Oh, it's under light sources. Lamp oil. Okay, it's going to be exceeding expensive out here as well, because again, they have to import things like that from the continent. So it's going to cost you 6 silver here. Kirov, 6 silver.
Now, barter just for the principle of it.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing.
Succeeded.
You did indeed. So 4 silver and some coppers. So like that, and 2 coppers left, and that's going to be some lamp oil for you. You sure you only want the 1?
I don't think I can carry any more. Without
You're
getting
correct. You
encumbered.
cannot carry any more. But you have 2 donkeys.
Hey, yeah, we're probably best off put some more lamp oil on them. if anybody else wants to put it on their own inventory as well. So we've got some, even if we need to leave the donkeys behind.
I can take some.
You can indeed. That's going to cost you even more, isn't it? Who's paying that?
I can pay.
Very well then. Yes, you can.
I'll barter once more. If anybody else is... We're just buying lamp oil. If everyone was buying lamp oil, can I do a collective barter for everything further we get?
Yeah, you
for
get
the
in
lamp
charge.
oil,
You just get the
I'll
lamp
give
oil
you
for everything.
the barter, as it were. So, there we go. She's carrying a bottle of lamp oil.
Now we need food. How much food do we reckon?
Good question, isn't it? It should take you how long to get there? It should take you a while, actually. Let's see. Probably like a... Not quite sure if it's a week, but... Let me check the map again. From Ahhe to the Iron Tower. Depending on the pathfinding you do, and Parma will be with you, it's probably going to take you 5 days to get there.
All right. Probably get started then.
You probably need 10 days worth of food or slightly more, because you're going to go back again as well.
We could hunt though while we're out there too, right?
Oh yeah, there's supposed to be like animals of prey out there, certainly. So do we want 5 days of food or 10 days of food? Or something in
So we'll get
between?
more, right? Have some reserve.
Yeah.
All right, let's get 10 days, and then if we need more, we'll hunt for more.
Speaking of
Although
hunting, can Eva buy some slings?
You can definitely do that. So, field ration for 4 people. Actually 5, because we should probably count Parma too by now. The other 3 can finance themselves, so that's not a problem. But I guess Parma can finance herself too. So 4 people, full field rations. That is 4 silver per day. And so that's going to be 4 gold coins for 10 days worth of food for all of you. I think you can afford that.
We can definitely afford that.
Yeah.
Particularly because we're bartering about it. So only three gold and 2 silver. Who's gonna pay that? Are we
I'll
spreading
pay
it
that.
out?
Yeah, I'll pay it.
Wild pays it. Okay. You're so rich now that you're like...
Make it rain.
Exactly. Okay, so field
Probably should do that with
rations.
gold coins,
How
though,
many
that
can
could-
you even carry here? I can put 4 on you. I can put more than 4 on you. If I put
Although it has
10
although
on
it
you,
has 2
you're
things we'd
still
like to buy.
fine. I just put 10 field rations of wild and it's still fine. Eva can take some field rations, right?
Yep.
Oh, right. There we go. So you had... Let's put there. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit more than you can carry. So I could put 5 on you. So that's 15 out of the 40. We have the logistics of food. Kirov cannot carry anymore. Halveld can carry stuff. Do you want to carry some field rations, Halveld? You also have 2
Well, he would
donkeys.
also- Could we not put the rations on the donkeys?
We can. Okay.
He would
Let's
rather
see how
have
many
that.
rations Dotto can carry here. Field
He
rations.
has,
Oh, Dotto was all out of field rations. Look at that. There, and then change that to 25. And Dotto now... no, Dotto gets over encumbered that way. But I can put it down to 20, and that should be fine. Yeah, so 5 will go onto Grotto. And that will be all the field rations you bought. So plenty of field rations. Grotto still has a little bit of carrying capacity. Of course, you're going to have much more by the time you get to the actual Iron Tower. And you wanted to buy a sling, Cliffhanger?
Yeah.
Very well. A sling it is. That's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Or is it? Probably
I'm
not.
sure there was something else we were talking about as well that we wished we had, but we didn't have.
I'm going to
Harold-
charge you...
Harold would like to buy 2 things if possible.
I'm going to charge you 1 whole silver coin for that, Cliffhanger. I don't know if you're ever going to recover, but there it is. What did Halvan want to buy?
We could get mastercrafted weapons, so he would
Yeah,
like
we'll
to
get to that.
upgrade his what?
It's not going to be a light crossbow or anything. Oh, maybe it will be a light crossbow. I think
No.
dwarves are...
No, he's not interested in the crossbow because that's not possible. But he is interested in a mastercrafted staff, quarterstaff.
They're smiths, my friend, not carpenters.
Okay, but you couldn't. I thought maybe you could put a battle axe that has wood in it and metal. Perhaps a quarterstaff could also have metal and wood, but that would make it heavier, maybe. Okay, fine. Then he has one other thing on his list,
Uh-huh.
and that is a schmeckelboard.
A schmeckelboard! Oh my god, I
Yes.
have no idea how much that might cost.
Well, there's the chess set here, which I imagine is the
Yes, that
similar.
would be
That's
the
1
equivalent.
gold equivalent at least. It's 1 gold.
Oh, chess set, yes. Actually, I'm gonna make it more expensive because, again, imports, so 2 gold.
You know what? Halveld wants an exquisite one.
Oh,
But he doesn't want just anyone. He wants like their prize special.
the finest chess set. Okay, the finest schmeckelboard.
Yeah.
So 20
This
gold
is
then. We're splurging on
Yeah.
things here.
yeah, and he's gonna practice it every day. For the
We need to have
rematch.
some kind of bonus for having a schmeckelboard. I need to make something up. So 20 gold. Someone is gonna...
He can pay that. He can pay that. He will
Okay,
happily
you're
pay
just
it.
paying it straight up. No bartering at all. Very well.
Oh no, he'll let
I'll do-
Kirov do his thing. That's we're not going to. Yes, Kirov will, I imagine, will interject and
What?
if he
Listen
wishes to.
here, my good merchant. Okay, so it's not gonna be 20 gold. It's gonna be 16.
Okay, that's fair. He'll pay the 16,
Yeah.
and he'll have a master crafted, fine quality, etc. Schmickelboard set.
In memory of the dragon, clearly, right?
Exactly.
Should we get some bandages in case somebody gets clobbered?
Oh, that's a very good idea.
Although not
Yeah.
like in the other game where we got a ridiculous number of bandages and we were basically carrying around a field hospital.
Oh, yeah.
But bandages
Um,
are not bad to have.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
All right. I think it's on a trade goods, right? Nope, it's not.
No,
Medicine. Yes.
No, medicine.
Yeah.
And what about surgical instruments? Does anybody have that? Because we have money for it now.
Boon on healing
that-
rolls for saving a life. Yeah, no, we don't have any of that right now.
Would be nice to not die, obviously. And I don't know, Wild, would you be interested in the poison, like the sleeping or the paralyzing poison? Or the lethal? Is that
The
something?
poison might be good for arrows. Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Paralyzing also is pretty. That's a bit cheaper as well, but also might be interesting. But well, whatever. Those they all look interesting.
Oh my. Okay. This is getting advanced. All right. Lethal poison. How much potency do you want on that?
How is that measured? I'm not sure.
Potency is the die roll that you roll. So it's an opposed roll, Constitution versus potency. And it's you roll a d20 and you want to roll equal to or below the potency for the lethal for whatever poison to have an effect. And of course the defender is rolling against their constitution. So whoever is rolling lower on the d20 wins. But you also have to roll under your own potency to win. Because if you roll over your potency, there will only be like the lesser effect.
Okay.
And
How
since
much
it's
is
a
the
deep-
most potent?
Oh, the most potent would be a potency of a 20. So, yeah.
I could choose anything from 1 to 20 then is
Yeah, basically.
okay. 15.
Potency of 15. Gee, that's going to be 30 gold, clearly.
How much does that get me?
It gets you 1 dose of potency 15 lethal poison.
So it's just if I like 1 arrow with that?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right. How about 10? What's the 10
Potency
potency?
10. Okay. Yeah, that's going to cost you 20.
The other poisons are cheaper, by the way. You're taking the most expensive one now, but
Okay. How much? What kind of? Where are the poisons? Where do I find those?
page 52 and 53.
Yeah, it's under gear, and I can show you like this. Boom.
Okay.
And you can go down to medicine, and there you find the
Okay.
stuff.
Medicine.
Does anybody have a grappling hook?
I do. Yeah.
I'm thinking we're meaning to climb
Alright.
the tower, so that'll be a good thing.
Yeah.
And how much silver in a gold? Is it 100?
What is what?
How much silver in a gold if I get?
Oh, it's 10 silver per gold.
Okay. So 12 silver is 1.2 gold.
Yes.
Okay.
But 12
Gonna
silver
vessel.
is times potency. So if you want a potency 1 paralyzing poison, then it's 12 silver.
That's yeah. Okay.
If you want
This
a
is
paralyzing,
confusing.
if you want the potency of being 10, then it's suddenly 12 times 10. It's 120 silver, which is 12 gold.
Let's get 1 lethal poison at 10. So that's 20 gold.
Yep.
And then we'll take 2 paralyzing potions at 10 as well.
I'm going to write down here.
Wait. So that'll be 120. Okay, no. Oh, yeah, because that'll be like 24 gold then. Okay.
You're going to be over encumbered.
Yeah.
But we can shift the load because there's still space on the donkeys.
What's that?
There's still space on the donkeys, so we can shift the loads a bit. You wanted to have 1 lethal dose. Roll the bartering again! Because apparently nobody else wants to try their luck with that. No Kirov? No bartering? Maybe Wild Wolfbane will have to roll bartering this time.
Oh, you know what? Halville will give it a go. I think he'll cheat again. He'll use his missile. No, I don't know.
Is that,
Really?
oh,
Let's
there.
see.
Okay. All right. My audio cut out.
No, I'm
For a second
trying
there.
to with Kirov here. I don't know where
Okay.
Roger is. Maybe he's
Yeah, I think he
AFK
just
or-
left. He's out for a second.
I'll
Kira,
just roll Kira's
Felfield's-
bartering because we know that he does all the bartering. So here we go.
Yeah,
That's going to be another success for you on your... Let's make it a package then. You wanted 1 paralyzing dose and 1 lethal dose, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm back. Do you need more bartering?
yeah, we just did that. So 120 plus... No. 12
It'll be
gold
20
plus
gold
20
and 120.
gold,
So it'll be
right?
32
So 2
altogether,
gold.
right?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
32 times that. You pay 25 gold.
Okay.
And some silver to that. That's going to be 25, 33 left, and then all your silver, and we break up another gold, and then you have some silver left. There you go.
Okay.
And a paralyzing poison on top of that. And it is
that
also
puts
going
me over
to be,
my thing.
and it's also
So
going to
why
be
don't-
potency 10.
Yep. And I'll put like 4.
Now, what do
As
you
many
want?
rations as I need on. Actually, let me get rid of my knife
All right.
and my fishing rod.
Is that going to go to
One of the donkeys, yeah.
Okay. So, fishing rod there. And that will do the trick. You're no longer over encumbered. Alright, what else do we have? Let's go shopping. Was Kirov going to buy any bandages?
Yeah, I think we should have some, and especially for our healer.
So, how many bandage rolls do you want? Each one will be 5 silver. Eva, you can buy some of those. You have some coin,
Yeah,
don't you?
that's some of them.
How many
Yeah.
do you want?
Each unit is 10, so this adds up really quickly.
Yes. You probably
Okay,
don't need more than 2 rolls at most. Like,
Okay, I'll buy 2 rolls.
very well. So you're gonna have 2 of those, and that's 1 gold. Unless Kirov barters it down. Which, of course, he does. Because he's good at this stuff. 8 silver instead.
And I remember we were talking about a spyglass. Does Halveld have a spyglass?
He has a spyglass, yes. Is that the shopping done?
I've got the list up and I can't see anything else that seems obvious.
Let me set
Yeah,
a
I
little
can't
bit
think
of
of
a
anything.
scene here for you as you're coming into town. Like, obviously, you will have the shopping done. But that doesn't mean that this is entirely without some drama and some moments of, oh, what happened here? Because as you're coming into town, remember that there was, like, one house that had been on fire when you were away on to the temple and the tombs? Which means that he doesn't remember it all, which is fine too.
That
But
was several sessions ago.
it was more than 2, yeah. This time when you come into town, there is a whole set of boats that have basically sunk. You can see the masts sticking up, and you can see at least 1 or 2 more buildings that have burned to the ground. And everybody is talking about the dragon. Turns
What happened
out,
with the dragon?
yeah, there's so many different rumors about the dragon right now in town. It turns out, apparently, the dragon came here and attack the city.
Ahhe's not doing a good job of keeping it under control.
Apparently.
Did it come and just attack with no purpose, or did it attack specific places, or?
It's down by the seafront, down by the ocean front on the fjord. And that's where you can still smell a little bit of burned wood. Obviously, there's been a storm and there's raining, so any fires are already down. I am just taking notes for no reason. Yeah, that's essentially the scene when you're coming in. Like, there's more guards than ever patrolling up on the palisade, and you can see guards up on the hills as well. They have spy glasses. They're standing there in the rain watching the horizons, and the town is aflutter with talk around here. Yeah, it was bad. Some people say that hundreds were killed. Others say that it wasn't just the one dragon. It had like its family with it too. And yeah, there's a lot of talk about the dragon around
Yeah. Oh, that's not good.
here.
So far, we're responsible for raising an undead civilization and now possibly setting off a dragon rampage.
Yep. Though apparently they're not blaming you.
Yeah,
Nobody is
wasn't it the other
arresting
guy?
you this time.
Yeah, what wasn't it the guy that came in and actually saved our butts? Didn't he? He was suddenly chit chatting with the dragon, and then they left together. I think they
They
left
made
together.
it some
right?
kind of deal, yeah.
Yeah, so that's his fault, not ours. Kind of.
Some will say that there was a message. The dragon's flame cleansed the unworthy, but spared the righteous. We're being judged.
There's always those kind of people.
Then some say, oh, apparently there was someone riding the Pale One. Who could bind such a monster? Huh? Some are even laughing nervously about it. Just a couple of thatched roofs and it just flapped off. That beast is probably more bone than flame now. Probably can't even roast a squirrel without coughing up along.
Yeah.
Nervously.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah. But in the smithy, Guelman will want an explanation or 5 as you're coming in here to collect your reward, the master-crafted weapons that you were promised. I don't think Rober and Gistaki and Dija were promised that because you hired them later on, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they have no idea about these rewards. What are you telling them? They want to go to the tavern and spend some of their money on an ale, if nothing else.
There you go. Yeah, they can do that. Go and have fun.
They're gonna go and have fun. Shopping is boring anyway. They're probably gonna go and buy some food and whatnot because they need their own stuff too. But yeah, as you're entering the smithy here, Guelman is sitting there with his great big white pipe puffing away, and he's glaring at you. You weren't supposed to disturb the dragon, were ya? What did you do over there? I hear you did get the Mercury out, so this is good, but if I were you, I'd keep my snouts and noses low to the ground now. Unless the Dracorians find out what you done. And don't let any of that be connected to us. Because we have a good name to uphold. Now, I'm a man of
Oh,
my
wow.
word.
So sorry for the inconvenience.
I'm a man of my word, so you'll have the mastercrafted weapons.
Okay.
It wasn't entirely
that's-
our
I guess that's-
fault. There was another knight there who kind of messed things up.
A knight, eh? Well, that could explain one or two things, can't it? So what kind of mastercrafted weapons do you want? We're talking about things that would come out of a smithy. Because this is a smithy.
Wild and Kurov, I think this is your show.
The Wild already has no less than 2 swords that are, shall we say, unusual. You can get
Yeah.
even more if you
Well,
want.
the one is
but
just a normal longsword.
Nabokos is not a normal longsword at all. It's the longsword. You dropped the longsword, didn't you? Or
I thought we had picked
yeah, you
that
had.
up.
Oh
so-
yeah, you picked it up. Okay, so you have 3 weapons right now. So you have your normal longsword, and you have your black broadsword that is made out of one black metal piece of unusual.
I thought I didn't pick that one up. I thought I just had the 2.
You had one normal longsword that you tossed to the side. That would during the fight you fumbled, so it went.
But I thought I was able to pick that up after the fight. I thought,
Absolutely.
So I had
so
that.
you have your
Okay.
longsword, you
Yeah.
have your scimitar,
Uh-huh.
and in your backpack you have Nabokos, the black sword, that is apparently good against metal.
Okay.
And that's it. Which is plenty. But if you want to have a mastercrafted longsword instead of a regular longsword, you can definitely get that.
Yeah, I would get that.
All right.
Could I get a shield as well?
Why not? You can get a shield. Do you want a small or large?
What kind of pros and cons are we getting with those?
A small shield requires 7 strength. A large shield requires 13. You can hurt people with it. Like, you can bash people with a shield. It does bludgeoning damage, of course. And the large shield has more durability.
How does durability work?
When you parry something, I don't think you've ever parried an attack in this game, have you?
No.
When you parry with anything and catch the attack, will the weapon's damage against the thing you parried with. And if it exceeds the durability, your weapon breaks, basically.
I see. All right. So is there, obviously a large, what kind of weight are we dealing with the large shield? How heavy are they?
I think it's the same as, I think it's a 1. Yeah, it's a 1.
It's the
Same as
1?
usual, yeah.
Okay.
A master-crafted large shield
Yeah.
reduces the strength requirement.
I have a strength of 15, so that's not an issue.
No, it's not an issue. But it also increases the durability by 3. So instead of 18, it's going to be 21. It's going to be very hard to break it. You have to do 22 points of damage to break this thing.
And with the longsword, what kind of damage would that do? What would be?
It doesn't increase the damage. It reduces the strength requirement and increases the durability.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll take the shield then.
Very well.
So is it easier to block with the shield than with
Nope.
the sword, or are there any
Well-
advantages? Okay.
No, the advantage is a shield can block arrows too. And the durability is higher on the shield than it is on the sword.
Okay.
So it's harder to break a shield.
Okay. All right. Yep. Let's do that.
Halveld, are you sure you don't want some kind of weapon?
Yeah, the
You can have one.
quarterstaff. Yeah, and he has strength 7, so he cannot actually lift anything.
With Mastercrafted, you reduce the strength requirement. So you could have a broadsword, for example.
The only melee weapon that he can use is a
Staves. Yeah.
is a staff.
Yeah. Unless you
And I think
use
the
your
only other staff
adaptability.
is a.
Unless you use your adaptability.
Yeah, but he's not going to use that for actual fighting. That's what other people for. He's going to use the quarterstaff. Actually, has the trip ability, which I think is quite nifty. So he's going to use that to trip
It is
people off
nifty,
and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. So that's all right. He's fine with that.
All right.
I can just
Hero?
see it now. Well, that would be pretty cool, actually. He uses a broadsword and he does like the whole Matrix thing. Like, I know. He
Kung
can-
Fu. Woof. Adaptability.
Fu.
I remember all the stories of the great heroes.
Yeah.
Arn Dunkel
For
break
one
the
line.
night that I saw him move with his sword. I saw what he was doing.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah, no, it's quarterstaff. He's a quarterstaff guy. He's cool with that.
I can just give you Gwelman is going to be very weirded out by the fact that you won't accept the gift from the dwarves as a.
I don't know if he can carry it. I don't know if he can carry anything else. He's got like very heavy smickle board with him now. Let's
You
see.
have one left of
Is it a
encumbrance,
very
actually.
expensive?
You
Is
have-
he just gonna give it to us? Because then we'll just
Yeah.
take it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Give me a
he's-
mastercrafted.
He's
broadsword.
giving
Sure,
you
why not?
each a mastercrafted weapon that has
Oh.
been in the forge. These are gifts.
the most
So if
expensive
you
thing
absolutely
you have?
don't want to have a gift from a mastercrafted gift from the dwarves, of course you don't have to. But it's gift.
All right.
You don't
All
have
right.
to buy
God.
anything.
Yeah, he'll take a mastercrafted broadsword then, just because it looks
Very
cool.
well. It does look pretty. He's wearing a sword like the heroes of old.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's his. What do you call that? Like extra things on your clothing to make you spice you up. It's his.
Yeah, it's an accessory.
I see exactly.
Yeah. And it doesn't even take up an inventory slot for you because you have it on your belt on hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Kirov, is there anything you want?
I'm just looking at this. What would the large shield to do with like how many hands I have to spare? Does it like strap onto your body, or you have to have dedicate a hand to it?
Oh, you have to have a hand for it, yeah.
Swords and stuff just strap onto your body.
You can have 3 weapons at hand. If you have 4 weapons, the rest of them will go into your backpack.
Right. And so if I have, could I have a great sword? With it being master crafted, would that bring the strength requirement down low enough that I could have a great sword?
Good question. It is not impossible. Yes, you could. A mastercrafted greatsword has a strength requirement of 13. Alright then.
Just checking, just seeing if any more of the. Oh yeah, because sword is the thing my skill is coming up in. There may be other even more powerful stuff, but I'd have to start training separately for them. So
Very well.
that's probably the great sword's probably the way to go.
Yeah, it's a two-handed thing, obviously. But yeah, you're a strong fella. Alright. Deva, what kind of a weapon might you want?
I'm a mage. Can
Yep.
I have a weapon?
Nothing coming from a forge, because you'd have to toss it aside to be able to use it. To be able to use your
Yeah.
spells.
Yeah, I think I'm happy with my sling.
Very well. Gwelman will understand. Alright, my friends. We have handed out some mastercrafted treasures. We have done some shopping. And in a week from now, we will see what happens to this group of adventurers as they set out towards the Iron Tower itself to bring down the Shagalites. Gwelman is going to share, just as we are wrapping up this session, the secret of the Iron Tower. But I'm going to tell you that at the start of next session. So we leave it with a great cliffhanger. Please follow the channel, subscribe on YouTube, ring the bell icon, join everything, and we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.